everybody, welcome back to the Chaotic Little Book Corner. Today is my top 5 classics of the year. Let's dive right in. This one, when I went back and I realized that I'd read it in 2016, I was very excited. This is a Persephone classic. It's number 59, There Were No Windows by Nora Holt, and it's gorgeous on the inside, of course, because it's a Persephone. And this is the story of a woman in the World War II era who is suffering from Alzheimer's before Alzheimer's is really diagnosed and given a title, and the frustration and the fear and the exhaustion that she causes in people in her daily life, but also in herself. It was really beautiful and really stunning, and it's very interesting to flash back and forth between this woman's understanding of the present and the past, and how she can't really find a place where she fits. This was absolutely breathtaking. I love this story, and if you have someone in your life who has suffered or is suffering with Alzheimer's, this is a really good way to dive into their brain and understand a little more about what they're dealing with daily. Number 4 is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. This I really enjoyed. I was hoping to have my pretty edition, which I ordered earlier. This one was like super cheap, $2, totally used and destroyed, and like there's stainage on it. I just bought it because I knew I wanted to read it in December, and I was like, I'm going to read it in December, and I didn't want to chicken out and not read it. I thought this was really stunning. I thought that the exploration of the wealthy and the poor and the love of earth and money and power was really, really, really well executed. I think that Anna really holds this beautiful this depiction of herself where she is representing a culture and a divide between the czars and the peasants. I think that she is this wonderful character who is sad and longing and melancholy in one character. I think she's wonderful, but she has so much love and passion. And I'm really, really excited to dive more into Tolstoy's work, and I'm also more excited to dive into any books that come out of Russian culture now, because I find that the writing is just so exquisite and lyrical and beautiful, and I felt so swept up in it, and this was a really great book to dive into late at night on a December night. Really stunning. Next is Muriel Spark, The Driver's Seat, and this is a modern classic edition, and I have already gotten into the Muriel Spark kick. I've been following the Yoda of all Muriel Sparks, which is Adam from Memento Mori. I will link his channel below. Adam has kind of been willing to discuss with me each and every book as I go through them. I've ordered 2 others that some of them have arrived, some of them have not. I've just gone in a kick with Muriel Spark because I really enjoyed how she wrote the driver's seat, and there's so much more depth to it than I thought the first read through. I can tell that this is a story that I'll be reading over and over. It's stunning, but it also just grips you and punches you in the gut and says, look at me, I'm not what you thought the first time. I really enjoyed it. I think there's an element of, is a woman, the conversation of, is a woman mad or is a woman just single? What is the norm? What is culturally acceptable of a woman in these days? There's so much more feminist text below the surface in this book that I really need to dive more into, and it's a favorite because it's going to be something I'm going to reread for many years to come. Now this one, I don't know if this classifies as a classic, but it is in the modern classic editions, so I'm going to classify it as a classic because otherwise, I don't know. This is Bastard Out of Carolina. I loved this book. This is one of my new favorites of all time. It's beautiful. It's stunning. It's wonderful. I wanted to wrap Bone up in a blanket and hold her until the end of time and make sure she knows she is loved and cared for and not in trouble. I wanted to take this little child out of a world that was so hard and so terrible. And I read this during summer, which was really wonderful. I read it in 2 sittings, sitting outside in a 90-degree heat, which was perfect given the fact that it's written in the South. I could feel and taste the heats and the struggles. It was absolutely phenomenal, and I will keep this on my shelf for the rest of the time, and I love it. Last, but certainly not least, is Valet. This is Charlotte Bronte. This has replaced Jane Eyre as my favorite Bronte of all time. This goes and follows a woman named Lucy. Lucy is a much more honest depiction of a human than Jane is for me in Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre represents this perfection, this docile, this wonderful, this imagery of what a woman should be, and Lucy in Valet is so much more honest and wonderful and sad and melancholy and depressed, but also human and scared and afraid of trust and loyalty and loss, and it's so much more honest to me, and I love this. And this replaced Jane Eyre as my favorite Charlotte Bronte, and also helped me understand that Charlotte Bronte is one of my favorite authors of all time. Those are my top 5 classics. Tomorrow I will see you with my top 5 mental illness characters. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.